Ross.
And I'm AJ Finney.
And this is
Hippie?
Not Hippie. Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 10 of Hippie Not Hippie.
Yeah!
Thank you so much for joining us on our 10th episodes. We made it.
We made
10 episodes.
Double digits!
Yeah, we actually hit some milestones about a week ago. We've had over 1,000 people listen to the show.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Thanks,
Pretty
everybody,
awesome.
for checking it out. And yeah, some of you have been coming out to live shows too, which has been awesome. What all do you have coming up next few weeks here, AJ?
This week I've got a couple of things coming up. Wednesday, January 25th, I'll be in Loveland, Colorado, headlining Verboten Comedy at the Verboten Brewery. January 28th, I'll be in Carbondale, Colorado, at the Launchpad for the Carbondale Salon. The theme there is optimism and activism.
Check out the song "Modern Day Philosophers" that I have up on Spotify as well.
Yeah.
I did a show in Rapid City on Friday for a bunch of mortgage people, and my hometown did not disappoint. They were a fun fucking crowd, man. It was a good time. How about you? You were in Columbus with Josh Blue, huh?
Yeah, what a wild time at the Columbus Funny Bone. Josh's fans were great. We had 5 sold-out shows, which was just, I mean, you can't ask for anything more. And that venue, I've been to the Columbus Funny Bone before.
6?
A long time ago. 6, yeah. But they've remodeled it, and I guess it's been a while, but they've remodeled it so there's like a balcony and everything, so it's like 500 people can go in the venue. We got to perform for 2,500 people over the span of 3 days.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And man, in a 500-seater, when the balcony is sold out, it feels pretty fucking good.
Yeah, it feels like even though it's smaller than it, it feels like you're in a giant like amphitheater or something.
Yeah, it makes up for the high ceilings when the balcony's full. Like if you're doing a high ceiling place and just the floor is full, like
laughter just kind of goes up.
It still feels good, but yeah, when the balcony there, it's like fuck you, we're your ceiling now. You know, like.
Have you done Chris's room, the Blue Room, since they went to the new space?
No, I have not.
Jesus. It's a great room, but it also has a very high ceiling. Yeah. But here's the crazy thing about that. The parking garage is above you, right? So on one late show, I think I was weirding some people out. And I can't even say that.
You?
Yeah. So I can't even say.
Were you hippieing some not hippies?
I think I was spinning them out.
Oh, man.
So at one point, I don't remember what the joke was, but I hit something, didn't really land, and I was just like, this is a Friday late show. It's just not hitting the way I'd like it to.
Yeah.
I can handle hearing people chatter every now and again or seeing people walk out. It hurts, but I mean, you get used to it sometimes. But hearing them fucking drive out of the parking garage is another level of humiliation. That
they're like burning out.
Dude, it is, you just go, hey everybody, ba-da-ba-da, da, and then nothing, and then you just hear dum-dum, like when they're going over like the speed bump above you. And I just remember going, that hurt.
I like the idea of someone like peeling out, you know, like you just hear, you're like, it's the silence, and you just hear,
oh yeah,
that guy fucking sucked.
Yeah, if you didn't like the show that much, you just start honking because we're gonna hear it.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Next time you're there, I'm just gonna show up in a car. Gonna show up in a car with a loudspeaker while you're on stage and be like, "What the fuck is this guy even doing down there?"
Hey, would you like to fly to the show? No, I'm driving. I have a plan. It would be weird to hear like, you know, obviously someone too hammered to be getting behind the wheel, and then they get in and they just peel out, and you just hear, and you go, oh, that didn't end well.
I was doing the open mic at the Trinidad Festival, and there's these people that were like yelling and talking shit and being horrible the whole show.
Oh wait, I think I was down there for that one.
And then I got up there and really gave them the business, and they did not like getting the business, man. They hated it.
They were like, "We're going home."
Yeah, they were like, "Fuck you, we're fucking out of here." And I was like, I hope you get a DUI on your way home. I'm like, you're obviously too drunk to drive. You want me to call the cops for you?
Yeah,
and then
Jesus.
and man, they were just like. At that point, they were like, "What?" Like, yeah, they freaked the fuck out. I mean, it was a joke. I'm not a narc, but like,
right. I feel bad.
But man, they were really at that point. They were like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
He actually could totally fuck us over right now. But
I had a guy in,
and then that was the end of the mic, and
yeah, I remember that was kind of the talk of the festival there for like a day, where they were like, "What happened to the mic?" And they're like, "I think Moss happened." he fucking.
Those people were fucking awful though.
Yeah.
Like they deserved. Everyone else in the room, was loving what I said to them, was laughing. It was like actually, and then they left, and then I had a good set for the rest of the people in the room, and it was like the mic can be good again. You know?
I remember I did that mic. The room was big. For kind of a surprise mic for also people that maybe didn't know what was going on and they just wanted to go to their local watering hole.
Yeah, no, and then, and these people had like 40 Bud Light bottles, the big tall blue ones, empty on their table. That's what I was like giving them. I was like, you guys aren't even good at talking shit. Like, I was like, you might want to pull the 40 empties off your table so people don't know how fucking wasted you are, but they can tell anyways. But it's like, I don't know, it was just like a beacon of like, you guys are fucking idiots. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, dude, I've worked really hard over the last couple of years to not like lose it and say really mean shit on stage. But I have a stock thing that maybe about the meanest I get currently. And it's still pretty, like after I say it, I feel terrible. It's usually when someone won't shut the fuck up and they're drunk and they're ruining the show and we're kind of going back and forth. But we're not arguing. And I had this happen in the Springs one night. And, I think it was Friday late, and this guy was just like, yeah, and I was like, all right, man, yeah. And he said something, and I was like, nah, dude, it's not that big a deal. Fuck, I know you're having drinks. Hell, have fun. Drive home with your eyes closed, please. We'd all appreciate that. And then after I say it, I feel terrible. But, yeah, I mean, if you go out in public, fucking just know how to behave.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Also, that's
so now do you just think it? Do you just think inside your head?
I will say it.
Are you like, man, I hope that guy dies on his way home tonight?
Oh, see, that's when you code it that way, I feel terrible.
Well, and then here's what's fun, too, is what about the innocence?
The innocence of what? You think that guy is the first time he's ever had a beer?
There's other people on the roads.
Yeah.
Telling a guy to close his eyes. What if he did it? AJ, what if he hit a van with the family? He survives, and they're like, you're in super big trouble. And he's like, there's fucking 150 witnesses that saw this guy tell me that I should drive home with my eyes closed.
Right. And they go, oh, yeah, you're a fucking moron.
I don't know if that's how justice works.
I mean, I like to hope that it does. I mean, who's going to, I don't know.
Because people could say, he was in an inebriated state.
Yeah.
He wasn't in a good state of mind, and then you instigated.
Sure. Yeah. Sure, but also, if you're that hammered, I've been in that position. You shouldn't have been behind the wheel. Trust me, I know the fucking justice works that way.
No,
I've been there. I've been in that courtroom.
I was listening to Sports Radio Wyoming, on my way home.
Sports Radio Wyoming,
and Coors Light. So there's a ton of commercials for Barbasol shaving cream, which this is what I loved about them. Is it's like. We've been around for 100 years, but now we come in 5 flavors. And I'm like,
flavors?
Yeah, I'm like,
wouldn't it be scents?
Yeah, but I like it because it's like Wyoming, and they're like, men don't wear scents in Wyoming. They wear flavors. Like fragrances too, flavors.
Yeah.
And the flavors were like...
I like to put a little Barbasol underneath my lip. That's why we call it a flavor saver.
Yeah, none of them were flavors that I wanted to eat either. They were like aloe. It wasn't
tree.
Like cherry, orange, and strawberry flavored Barbasol. It was like aloe, sandalwood.
Flavors you'd never eat.
Yeah, it's woods.
God, it's crazy. Also, Barbasol, I've used it, but it does remind me of my grandfather. That's exactly how old it is. It's like maybe Stetson cologne is another one.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't bought shaving cream in 20 years.
Really?
Yeah.
I still got to knock the cheekbones down every now and again.
Yeah, I mean, I just use a scissor.
Oh, wow. I can't. Yeah. I've used conditioner. That works. I found that out on the road one time.
I mean, I was poor a lot, too. When I did shave, half the time I was just fucking using a razor on my face.
I can't do it. My skin's too sensitive.
Yeah.
It'll look like I got herpes all over my face.
But yeah, flavors of Barbasol. But then I think it was a Coors Light commercial, but they were like, yeah, have a Coors whenever you're doing what you do. And it was something along those lines. And I was like driving down the road and I was like, well, fuck.
I'm doing what I do right now.
I'm pretty sure I'm doing what I do right now, driving down the road. Yeah, and then I was like, shit, I wonder if I cracked a beer right now and got pulled over.
I'm doing what I do.
If I could sue Coors, because I was like, hey, man, I was doing what I do.
Yeah.
And you said to have one of your beers. So I was like, fuck yeah.
Fucking nailed it.
I also saw this crazy fireworks display.
You can buy fireworks in Wyoming all year round?
Well, no, it was in, I think, Fort Collins. I saw it start in the distance, and by the time I got within, like, range, I hit the grand finale, and as I was about to go past it where I couldn't see it anymore, it was over.
Whoa.
And I
when
felt
was
like,
this?
And I was like, man, my timing. Yeah, I was like, I felt like it was a sign that I was like in the, my timing was right.
Yeah, perfect. I wonder if it was for the Chinese New Year. I think we just dropped into the year of the rabbit.
Yeah. No, I think that's what it is.
Wow. So you're driving down the road and all of a sudden it's just like,
yeah, big firework off in the distance, and and then literally I was, because there's part of me that was like, you should slow down so that you can see the whole thing. But then there was part of me that was like, nah, man.
I'm just going to crack this Coors and pay attention while I drive.
Yeah, I'm just going to do what I do.
Oh, man, you get pulled over. You're like, I'm doing what I do. I'm just drinking a Coors, driving down the road, shaving with Barbasol. What's your favorite flavor, Sheriff?
Oh, well, and then I have these puppets in my car.
What? Wait, hold on. Are you fucking Jeff Dunham now?
No, man. For the music video, I borrowed some puppets so that they could be in the video. Well, I say borrowed some puppets. I asked them if they wanted to do it.
Are these like ventriloquist dummies or?
They're like Muppet, Sesame Street-esque kind of things.
Oh, okay. But they're still like a hand puppet.
Yeah, they're kind of like different variations of Ernie. I don't know.
Okay. It's like a felt puppet.
Yeah. And I had them, but I made sure that I had one handy because if I got...
I like the fact you said handy.
Yeah, handy. I always have cops fuck with me in Wyoming. They like to follow me and whatnot. But I wanted to make sure that if I did get pulled over, that like I could slip my hand into that puppet, and when he was like walking around the window, just be like, "Hey, officer, how are you doing?"
As funny as that sounds, I'm not gonna lie. I think that's how you lose a fucking hand. How you doing, buddy? Jesus.
Yeah. Hey, officer.
He's come back with a bloody nub, and you're like, well.
What did I trouble you today, officer? Huh? Here's my thinking, is that if I did that to a cop in Wyoming, that he would just turn around, get back in his car,
and drive away. Yeah, I'll be honest. If I was an officer and that happened to me, I would go, not today. I think I'm sleeping.
If I was a friend of yours and I went over to your house and you answered the door like that, I would just turn around and leave.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't handle this. That's the type of stuff that you'd want to, like, I don't know. Those were the like types of pranks you did when someone was tripping. You always have like something would you do. We put a guy in a business suit one time and sent him in to get booze when he was underage. That was probably one of the funniest things we've ever done.
No, we did. Plug used to live next to this guy who's a huge dick.
Yeah.
And like one night we were having a party and he was like being an asshole on the other side of the fence, like just to do it.
Was it like a duplex?
No, it was like they just were close houses downtown and a fence separated them.
Yeah.
And we were, out in the back of the fire pit, having some drinks. And this guy was, I think he was fucking with us somehow. But anyways, I was like, hey, Steve, you should go get that puppet. And this guy had threatened to shoot them and stuff. And I was like, you should go get that puppet and just put him up over the fence and watch that guy doing what he's doing.
Oh, God, just instigating the shots fired.
I mean, yeah. I have to give these puppets back to Chaos Bloom. They were Steve's puppets, and then he was like, you know what?
He donated them to an improv theater?
He donated them to an improv theater, and then I borrowed them back, and I think I might need them for another scene, so Robert said I could keep them for a bit.
Cool, we're
good.
There
definitely is some fun to be had.
With puppets?
With puppets.
Oh, yeah, dude.
I don't think they belong on a stage, but I think that anytime you have to interact with an asshole in the real world.
Oh, God, how great would that be?
To just be like, are you mad?
What's the matter? God damn.
Yeah, anytime you're trying to buy something, you're like, I don't know. Dude. That doesn't seem like a good deal.
You're trying to buy a car, and you're like, what do you think? Well, looks like he's trying to rip you off.
Well, my friend here.
Imagine walking in on your significant other and they've been cheating on you.
Yeah.
Right? That's one thing that's going to kind of fry you out a little bit.
But it's me, and I have a puppet.
But someone's got a puppet. And it's just like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? And the guy just goes, it was my idea. Please don't be mean to him. I'd have done it, but I don't have the proper genitalia.
She hadn't came in a long time.
It was I instigated it with fingering.
Because check this out. And then you hold up his arm and he's got on one of those foam fingers.
It's just, I'm number one.
Whoa. Wait, weren't we going to do something this week about music?
About music.
Oh, shit.
No, all the music sounds.
Yeah, But yeah, we kind of started talking about, AJ was kind of educating me a little bit about jam bands, and then we were kind of, figured we should get into the hippiness of certain types of music. I was thinking about how to approach this in a logical way, and it's like, when would the earliest of hippie music even be allowed? And I mean, the 60s is kind of a general idea for the hippies, but I think it's definitely the later 60s. But what I learned...
What was it, 64? Is that when the Summer of Love was? 64, 65, something like that? Because I think acid was still legal up until 64. It wasn't a controlled substance, I think, until 64 or 65.
Some people think that there was hippie movements before the 60s, though, which is kind of an interesting thing. Like, have you ever heard of the Mazadakist?
I don't know. I haven't.
Yeah. It was
Mazadakis?
Yeah, Maza. It was a Zoroastrian Mobad priest, Iranian reformer, prophet, and religious reformer who gained influence during the reign of Sasanian Empire Kavada. He claimed to be a prophet of Ahura Mazda and instituted social welfare programs.
Mazda. I ended up looking up a bottle of wine.
Do you want to guess his cause of death?
Wait, what?
The guy that implemented social programs. The priest, Mazadak.
Was he murdered?
Execution.
Yeah. They don't like that.
Yeah. Then they purged a lot of his stuff. But then they advocated communal living, the sharing of resources, vegetarianism, and free love.
Oh, yeah. That's something, too. Like, I've always kind of wondered. Like, I've thought about this a lot. Like, when it comes to orgies, like, where does that kind of fall on the spectrum? Maybe we can get into that at some point. But free love was a big thing about the hippies.
A 1967 article in Time magazine asserted that the hippie movement has a historical precedent in the counterculture of the ancient Greeks.
Oh, because of the orgies? I wonder if that's what it was, because it was a cultural, like, Greek, when you think about it, like, a lot of philosophy. I feel like the hippies were real big on getting philosophical
they name
about
a few philosophers specifically, I'm going to butcher these, but
Hippio?
Diogenes?
Diogenes?
Yeah.
I like that name. I'd name my son that.
Or Diogenes? I don't know.
I had a buddy who had a dog named Dioge.
Sinope or Sinope, and the Cynics.
The Cynics.
Yeah.
I feel like I've heard the Cynics before.
Well, yeah, I'm guessing that's where the root word cynical came from.
Oh, yeah.
They probably had a shitty outlook on existence, and then we're probably like, fuck it, let's all fuck.
That doesn't seem, the shitty outlook doesn't seem very hippie. But, the weird thing about that, you also kind of go through optimism and pessimism.
Oh, so for cynics, the purpose of life is to live in virtue and agreement with nature as reasoning creatures.
Yeah.
People can gain happiness by rigorous training and by living in a way which is natural for themselves, rejecting all conventional desires for wealth, power, and fame, and even flouting conventions openly and derisively in public. Instead, they were to lead a simple life free from all possessions.
Okay, so that is that goes back to that unconventional...
And that was just in capitalism. They were like, what? No possessions? That's terrible.
Yeah.
But then what I found interesting, too, is the first hippies in America. Nathaniel Hawthorne writes about... He has a short story about the maypole of the Merry Mount.
The Merry Mount. Is this... what year was this?
This is in 18...
Oh, shit.
Or no, it was 1625. So,
wow. So we're still claiming that at this point, 1665, you said?
Is the earliest hippies in America.
Okay.
So, well, yeah, and it seems like they may have even had a song. So, Twice Told Tales, a collection of his short stories, tells a story of a colony on Mount Wollaston, or Merrymount, a 17th century British colony located in what is now Quincy, Massachusetts.
Oh.
So, basically, the people of Merrymount, who Hawthorne calls the crew of Cummis.
Okay.
So there's some Cummis there going on. They celebrate the marriage of a youth and a maiden, Edgar and Edith. They dance around a maypole and are described as resembling forest creatures. Their festivities are interrupted by the arrival of John Endicott and his Puritan followers. Endicott cuts down their pole.
Jesus Christ, what a dick.
Yeah, and orders that the people of Merrymount be whipped. Stricken by the newlyweds, he spares them, but orders they put on more conservative clothing. He also orders that Edgar cut his hair in the pumpkin shell style in order to reflect the Puritan strictness. So they had long hair. The Puritans, they came in, they cut down their pole, they took their hair, they cut their hair, and
wow, buddy, yeah, that's.
And I'm guessing it says they were dancing around the maypole, so that might have been the first American hippie
festival. Yeah, Woodstock kind of got all the credit, but honestly, it was the maypole.
Yeah, Well, and then I like that the first time that the hippies tried to throw a festival, that the Puritans came in and were like, "Fuck you, you're not doing this shit." Dude. And not only are we gonna fucking put an end to your festival, we're gonna make you wear more clothes and cut your hair, you fucking dirty hippies.
It reminds me of the rainbow gatherings. Have you ever heard of these?
Yeah, I've been to them.
Okay. Oh wow. Dude, it's on my bucket list of things to do at some point. It just seems very interesting. But for those of you that are unaware of that, the rainbow gatherings are a gathering once a year, usually in nationally owned land.
Well, there's nationals, which is where they pick a state and they pick a national park, and then everybody from all over the country comes. Then they have regional ones as well. I ended up at a regional one in California in the Redwood Forest around 2006.
So is it just a smaller event? It's like a burn as opposed to going to Burning Man?
Yeah, I think that would maybe be how. And I was literally just hitchhiking with a friend and ended up there as a place to stay, and then ate a bunch of acid with these. This is a very long story.
Were you hitchhiking in California?
Yeah.
Okay, this is wild. My dad used to tell me about this. For the longest time, and I don't know if it still is, you could hitchhike up and down the West Coast and it was legal.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it still is.
That's wild.
You can't walk on the highways, but you can hitch. And I will say this, it was hard. We spent 2 days without food at one place before somebody picked us up.
Oh, yeah.
And there was messages on because I don't know if you know this, but on the back, you know how there's always a sign on the way out to the highway?
Yeah.
On the back of those, there's always messages from other hitchhikers that are written, to tell you about the area.
Yeah.
It's like old code, basically. So that place, when we got there, we walked to go look at the hitch poster or whatever and see what was written on there. And literally the only thing written there was, "You will die here."
Jesus Christ.
Oh. Yeah, we were there for 2 days in the sun. And then eventually what we had to do is we walked 100 feet off the interstate.
Oh.
And we didn't have any water or anything. We were not in good shape. We hadn't eaten in 2 days. We hadn't really had water. We had to walk like 6 or 7 miles. Oh, correction. Harney Peak is now Black Elk Peak in South Dakota, too.
Oh,
I'm
gotcha.
like, holy shit, this is another story about me hiking without water. But yeah, when I was doing that, I was like, this ain't no fucking Harney.
Yeah. This is, as you were saying it, I was like, this is another, we should have had more supplies story.
But yeah, we walked, me and this guy, Handsome Tony. He was homeless, but he always wore a suit.
All right.
So anyways, we're walking, we get to this house. I'm just having a moment there because I feel bad because Handsome Tony, one time he was here and he tried to hang out with me, but I couldn't hang out with him because I had a ton of weed in the basement of a house and I wasn't allowed to show anyone where it was, and I had to do all this work. So if you hear this, Handsome Tony, hit me up. I love you. Sorry about that. But weird tangents. But yeah, so then we come across this vineyard and we're like trying to find water and we can't. And we come across this family having a birthday party and we walk up, just two haggard ass dudes.
Yeah, just dirt bags.
Yeah, and it's just this like 8 people in this family, like grandpa, grandma, mom, dad, and like their kids and like their kids, spouses or girlfriends or whatever.
Yeah.
And we walk up and we're just like, hey, can we please have some water? And they're like, oh, of course, you poor thing, and they like came and then they're like, oh, you guys got guitars? And we're like, yeah, we'll play you some music for some food. And so, yeah, we started playing them some tunes and they liked it and we started talking, and it turned out in the 70s a VW bus was like driving through, like they'd lived in this, it used to be your parents' house and whatever, but was driving through and they broke down and were stranded there for 10 days and they lived with them.
Oh, wow.
For 10 days until they got their bus fixed and back up on the road. She was like trying to give us money and we were like, oh, we were just like grateful for everything. We don't like to just like take money from people. That goes against our beliefs, because we were conservative hippies and we were Republican hippies. And
it seems like it seems like you just end up a person. Yeah, somehow it just balances itself out.
We were like, we don't Spange, but we played. And she's like, well, let me get you guys a bag of food or whatever. So she comes out with this big paper bag full of food, and the grandpa's like, you're never gonna hitchhike anywhere out of the next 20 miles. Like we're like in like nice wine country.
Oh wow.
We hang out with them for a bit, and then he takes us to another exit down the road, and we get out and we start going through this bag, and like, we're so fucking hungry. It's like a loaf of bread and peanut butter. And like, so we're like making sandwiches and just like having a fucking party. We get to the bottom and there's a poetry book in there from Jim Morrison. It's Jim Morrison's Lords and Creatures.
Okay.
I don't know. I actually kind of like that more than his music. But, but it was a fun read. And inside of it was $100.
Oh, wow.
Which is like more money than we had.
Yeah.
Than I had in like months at that point. So we were like rich, man.
Yeah.
And you know what fucking rich homeless people do?
Booze it up.
No. We went and bought socks. We bought deodorant. We bought
essentials.
Cigarettes.
Underwear?
We bought some new underwear. Like we bought all the shit that we needed.
Yeah.
And then with a little bit of that leftover money, I think we may have like gotten a 40 or something, but it wasn't like.
Yeah.
So then.
Essentials. I've heard socks on when you're out there is really important. It also happens when you're trail running, though, too. Like when you're out doing long hikes.
Socks are important in life.
Yeah. Socks and underwear are key. A chafe or just your feet get fucked up, dude. You're not walking.
But yeah, so then we kept going, and like some guy picked us up that was like he was a burner.
Yeah.
He was one of those guys that like sits in a buggy with a kite and gets like drug around on the sand. So we literally rode in the back of his van with that like weird kite buggy thing. And then a few other people picked us up along the way, and finally we got like there was this rainbow festival.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because you go into a town and you're like, here, there's a rainbow festival here, and people are just like, yeah, we seen hippies around, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so you were like, all right, we're kind of getting close, and then, then you like go around and you're like, oh, there's that guy's fucking dirty as fuck. Hey, dude, do you know where the thing? So we end up at this at the festival, and we eat a bunch of acid. We were all hanging out in a teepee, and the fire was good, and then all of a sudden the fire like went out, and I realized that everybody else had like sleeping bags around there and was sleeping, and I was just like sitting there, and I was like tripping still, and I like felt weird about waking these people up because I had like just gotten there that day and like didn't know a lot of them very well. So I just like froze in that teepee for a while, and then eventually I was like, I gotta start a fire somewhere, and like so I got up and found wood and like kindling and shit, and like started all the cooking fires for the day, and then just like fed the cooking fires until the dawn.
Wow.
And this is very not this is definitely a very hippie time in my life.
Yeah, man. For sure. It sounds like I picked up a rainbow guy on I-70 on my way to Colorado. I wish I could remember his name, but all he had was like he had a small rucksack and a shovel that had been painted. And I was like, what's going on? He goes, don't need money where I'm going.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, dude.
Well, yeah, a lot of things do work off of trade. So anyways, I didn't sleep for shit that night. And the next day the sun comes out. It's super nice. I like fall asleep with my shirt off with my cowboy hat, because I wear a cowboy hat then over my face.
Yeah.
Got kind of sunburnt, woke up on the hill, and like came like walking back down to the camp, and they're like making food, and there's for the rainbows they have like these different buses that do different things, like some of them feed people. I ate some food, and I was trying to help out and do dishes, and I used soap and water on this guy's fucking skillet, and he like freaked the fuck out, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
was it cast iron?
It was, but you can use soap and water on a cast iron skillet. It's a fucking urban legend. It's totally bullshit.
But you don't have to. They're seasoned. Like we never do it. Like you scrape them
the seasoning,
and put the oil in there and heat them up.
What seasoning a skillet means is it just means adding oil to it. It's not that there's an actual flavor or something.
No. I understand that. Like we have them and we've cleaned them. You can get a cast iron skillet that's rusted, redo it, and it's just like new.
Well, yeah, and also you can use soap and water to clean them. You just have to oil them afterwards.
Right, but sometimes, I understand that the guy, sometimes the taste of the soap, if it's real potent, will stay in the pan a little bit.
I mean, it's definitely not. It's the reason he was mad is that there's an urban legend that the flavor, that your skillet has flavor.
I think
some people think that seasoning, when they talk about the seasoning of a skillet, actually means the flavor of the skillet.
Oh, yeah.
That you're treating it with oil.
Yeah, you treat it with oil. But the what I was always told was that if you have a potent detergent and you use that, the pan can hold that for a minute. So then your food can have a weird taste to it.
But I was playing music for all the hippies. I had my guitar,
Well, that's part of it.
And I were playing tunes and writing songs the whole way there. But it was mostly country music.
Yeah? Well.
Which we did decide was a bit hippie, but.
It can be. I think we talked about this a little bit. The Grateful Dead had the, Working Man's Dead. Definitely was a little bit of a country album. New Riders of the Purple Sage. There was an L.A. cowboy movement that happened in the 70s.
So I was just curious how popular jam music is overall. So I did find some information on the top 10 genres of music.
Uh-huh.
And what do you think is the most popular? And these are world numbers.
Okay, but this isn't got anything to do with hippie. This is just music in general.
Well, music in general, because I think, we're like his country music. Let's talk about different genres, and I think we can kind of figure out pretty quickly if they have any sort of hippie roots or not. Go ahead and guess. What do you think the most popular genre of music in the world is?
Pop music.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Surprise. It's not.
Oh, it's not?
It's not in America.
Oh, wait, but you said world.
Yeah, no, in the world. But I think it's funny because hip-hop and R&B dominates the U.S. market.
Okay.
So, yeah, pop music #1 in the world, but rap and hip-hop bestsellers here. #2 is rock.
Yeah.
#3 is a decade, which I didn't know could be
a
genre. But, I guess it is a genre. The 90s.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, but...
Which the 90s are more popular than the 80s.
That's interesting because the 90s, I mean, dude, there was a reinvigoration of the Beatles in the 90s.
So, I listened to them a shitload in the 90s.
Yeah, but they re-released all those albums.
Yeah. Well, on CD, I think.
Yeah.
So, So soundtracks is #5. Hip-hop, rap, and trap is #6. R&B is #7. Dance, electronic, and house is #8.
Okay.
The 70s is #9.
Gotcha.
And soul and blues is #10.
Yeah.
But, I think the closest genre you could find in there that would be hippie or to jam would be the 70s.
I mean, maybe.
But...
Because, I mean, rock music in general. But then some of that you also is like trance electronica is still in that jam world. Lotus.
So I accidentally saw a jam band one time.
Well, that's going to happen again. But I'll dive into that in the next couple of weeks. I still like this like rap group called Blackalicious. I like the Gift of Gab, the MC from there. I think he passed away a few years ago, but I liked his solo stuff a lot too. Great rapper. Yeah.
And Blackalicious was an awesome group. And then there was this band that they were opening for this band that I'd never heard of.
Okay.
Called Sound Tribe Sector 9.
Hell yeah, dude. STS 9. I've been there. I saw him with the original bassist.
And I thought that they were a rap group that I had not heard of.
Dude, they're fucking good.
So we get there. The Blackalicious show is like fucking awesome. I love it. And then they're like, the next band's going to come out. And I'm like, man, I have no idea what's going on. But like all of a sudden, the room starts to change dramatically.
Yeah.
Like not the stage area.
The people?
Like the people around me start to change dramatically. Because like all of a sudden somebody's like, "Hey man, do you got any pills I can buy?" And I'm like, "No, what the fuck?"
Oh,
you
wow.
know? And I used to be a raver, so I was like, man, this doesn't feel like a Blackalicious vibe anymore. It feels like the vibe is starting to change. And then all of a sudden somebody else is like, "Hey man, do you got any pills?" And I turn around and it's a dude dressed like a rabbit.
Yeah. So wait, STS 9 was going on after Blackalicious.
Yeah, they were the headliners.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of a sudden, like a bunch of like people I would describe as low budget furries started to show up, and I was like, dude, this is a drug party.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is a fucking drug party. I know it. Then STS 9 came on. There was like 10 of them, and they started playing this beat, and I was like, all right, this beat's like kind of cool. And I'm like, when are they gonna start rapping?
Oh yeah,
and man, they never started rapping, and that beat went on. Yeah. That same beat, like after 20 minutes of it, my friends and I were like, I don't know, man. And we were like, yeah, and we left.
Oh, dude. Dude, you fucked it up.
No, dude, we didn't like it, man. It was just because it was too much of the same thing for too long. Dude. It was like watching a live DJ, and at that point, I left and I was like, holy shit, that was a guitar rave.
Yeah, dude, I saw those guys.
I mean, if I was, still, I loved raves when I was on ecstasy.
Oh yeah, I mean that would change it. STS 9 and Humphreys McGee were on tour in 2014. I think they were doing the Stump tour. And so they would just flip-flop who was headlining. And God, that was fucking great. Humphreys, for one, does like the most amazing mashups where they'll just combine two songs. I think they released an entire album of nothing but mashups. But
yeah, so did Z-Trip, the king of mashups. Z-Trip, you ever heard of him?
No.
Yeah, check him out. He's a great DJ. You'd love it.
Okay.
Yeah, he mixes like a lot of like 80s, 90s hip hop with 60s, 70s rock.
Gotcha. Humphreys does this thing where they'll start a song And then all of a sudden it just blends into the chorus of something else. It's wild.
Yeah, I know. They stole that from Z-Trip. But
well, yeah, but isn't Z-Trip a DJ?
Yeah, but he started the whole mashup.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
No. Yeah. So, and then I also went. I had an intentional. I went and saw the band the Disco Biscuits.
I like the Disco Biscuits.
And they played. They played. I thought they were okay, but then they played a 30-minute song, and I was just like so fucking over it.
Yeah, dude. So the Disco Biscuits are like Fish hard. Like, it's weird when you look at the jam band realms of everything. So, like, Fish, there's a certain crunchiness to and what drugs a lot of their fans are doing. The Disco Biscuits, those fans just go fucking hard, dude.
Yeah, no.
I don't think I've ever seen them live, actually, now that I think about it. I like them. They do I think they're out of Pennsylvania, and they have a festival every year. But...
So, after I got into the top genres, then I got into the best-selling artists of all time. Which, crazy enough, I would say that a lot of the music by the number one selling artists is hippie. At least after the 60s, because the number one selling artist of all time is the fucking Beatles.
Yeah, and I mean, and when you think about it, the breakdown of like what made someone hippie and when they tie in those psychedelic uses, I mean, as soon as they went into, I think the Beatles around Revolver and Rubber Soul, and then obviously the Magical Mystery Tour was fucking really wild, and then Sgt. Pepper's. I mean, all that stuff was clearly the growing mustaches acid era.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure I watched an interview where they're like, yeah, we went to go meet the Queen. We were fucking on acid.
How wild would that be?
Yeah, I mean, for a British person, I imagine pretty wild.
Yeah, well, that was like Trey Parker and Matt Stone. Did you ever hear that when they...
Oh, yeah, they went to the Grammys or
They went to the Grammys tripping, and they wore dresses.
Or the Oscars or something. But
so cool.
But yeah, so the Beatles, I think, are definitely hippie, and we have to... That's a +1 if you're a Beatles fan, right? If we're still gonna assign points to this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. So this is where it's gonna get very difficult, and I don't know if we can fine point this. I think we're gonna have to kind of play on the fly with it, because if you're a Beatles fan, yeah, I think we could give you a +1, but then we kind of figure out what your favorite album is, because if you're in that era of like.
Yeah,
Sgt. Pepper.
If you're like, I want to hold your hand as my favorite Beatles song, then we're like, you're a fucking square.
Yeah, you're a little bit different. Because that was like Cocaine Beatles and kind of nerding out. But yeah, if you get into that Sgt. Pepper's, I really think Revolver was the start of it, but I think anything past Rubber Soul, even into the White Album and Let It Be was still kind of hippie. Well, hair got longer.
You know who number 2 is?
Elvis.
It is.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 2 is Elvis, and I'm like, did Elvis have a hippie phase?
I mean, he did still a lot of rhythm and blues, didn't he?
Yeah, but
I don't know. But hippie, he was kind of a.
But he was a counterculture guy, kind of.
He was a counterculture guy. He did wear rhinestones. Well, he did like drugs.
Yeah.
But I think it was more pills.
Well, and he was the king of rock and roll. So.
That's a tough one. That's a really tough one. Like Hendrix, I would put in there. Obviously like a +1. But Elvis is kind of... Dude, I don't know. Because I feel like he's outlawish.
Yeah.
Right? He definitely was like a outlaw in kind of a similar way that Johnny Cash was.
Yeah, but I'm like, is he near as cool as Johnny Cash, though? And, like, is he as hippie?
Right. Well, here's the thing, though. Here's where it gets real strange.
Like,
would you have a Johnny Cash without Elvis? Because Elvis might have been one of the first people to break down that door from, Honky Tonk.
Elvis made, Jesus Christ.
So many albums?
Holy shit. So, from, like, the time that you could say that music could be kind of considered hippie, being 1960, right?
Yeah.
Didn't we agree on 60 would be the first year?
Yeah, 60s would be the time where it got...
Where there was starting to be some.
Yeah, because the Beatniks kind of came out of the 50s, but then it kind of made that transition.
So 21. He put out 20 albums in the next 17 years.
You said 21 albums?
Yeah.
Okay. How many of those albums are live albums?
I mean, I'm thinking when it says from Elvis in Memphis, that's a live album.
Yeah.
So 3 of them.
Okay. But he had a whole counterculture in the similar fashion that the Beatles did. Like, people were following him.
Yeah, but aren't they more like motorcycle jackets and...
The Beatles?
No, like Elvis. Like, I feel like he would be more like, I don't know. They would be more like the guys that...
Tough guys.
They're like, yeah, fuck long hair. I'll punch you in the stomach while I work on my hot rod.
Yeah, I feel like they were more maybe like tough guys.
I still take my girl to the soda pop bar. I don't do grass.
Oh, they were more like greasers.
Yeah, or something. I don't know.
Did Elvis have an opener, or did he only do the show himself? And I wonder how long an Elvis show was. I don't know. That's wild. How many concerts did Elvis do in 1977? 59. Dude, he was traveling a lot. Here's the wild thing. 1961, he did 2. 1957, he did 20. So I'm curious what happened in 1961. 69, he did 30. 70.
LSD happened in 61.
Yeah, it might have been.
Google, did Elvis do acid?
Oh, dude. I mean, he wore rhinestones.
Yeah, those glasses were pretty far out, too. Like when he had his
Evil
Knievel phase.
Did Elvis Presley ever do LSD? It's weird what Google does, because they're like, was Elvis on cocaine? Did Elvis smoke pot? There's 4 answers. Wait, showbiz cheat sheet. Elvis and Priscilla Presley did LSD. Here's what happened. Elvis Presley was provocative in the 1950s. However, by the time the 60s counterculture emerged, he was passé. Interestingly, though, he actually did LSD with Priscilla Presley. So I think here's the thing about Elvis. By the time the 60s came around and the hippies were starting to do stuff.
He was such a big star that he was like, I'm just going to make my money.
Yeah, I'm over it.
So, not very hippie.
Here's why he decided to try the drug and how he and Priscilla reacted to it. Firstly, a little background. Okay, hold on.
I like him,
my face is melting. Oh, Priscilla, hey, you ought to take my gun away.
No, baby, my face is melting.
To understand the Presley's experimentation with the drug, one must understand another baby boomer icon, Timothy Leary, which I don't know why he would get.
You said it like that?
Yeah. I have no idea.
Either. No.
But my brain went, hey. Leary was a psychedelic drug advocate. I imagine most of our listeners know this. He wrote the book, The Psychedelic Experience, with Ram Dass and Ralph Metzer. Okay. Blah, 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 blah.
So, guess.
Let me get down to the experience.
I'm gonna say Elvis wasn't a hippie though, because it sounds like he was a capitalist.
Yeah.
More than anything.
According to The Atlantic, Elvis's decision to use the drug was also inspired by the works of another famous author, Aldous Huxley. Dude, are we just name dropping here? Brave New World, Doors of Perception. I saw The Doors and I thought maybe Jim Morrison had something to do with it. Why the King of Rock and Roll didn't want people to know about his drug use. This might be, oddly enough, the Presleys used LSD. Might not have seemed very edgy at the time. In the 1960s, Good Housekeeping advocated the use of LSD, and the Presleys used the drug in 1965 when it was still legal.
Oh, so it was just like, I get it. Now, it was like Martha Stewart of the time was like, you know what, Elvis, you and Priscilla should just try a little.
Yeah, you should just do a little acid.
Just try a little LSD.
Yeah.
I mean, they used to sell ecstasy in bars too. I mean,
well, yeah, you used to get, heroin through the fucking, in the 50s, I think you could just order it, like on a Sears catalog.
Yeah.
They would send you an injection kit.
The good old days.
Yeah. And just a good old boys.
I'm going to say no on Elvis for a hippie. Let's move on here to the number 3 seller of all time. Who do you think it is?
Number 3?
Number 3, top seller of all time.
Rolling Stones? Is it Prince?
No, I don't know. That wasn't a very good.
Oh, wait. Is it the Great Balls of Fire guy?
No, it's like
Jerry Lee Lewis?
This is my monkey bubbles.
Oh, God. Oh, God. You could have been like, I'm a bad boy. This is Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Now I get it. I got the one glove because my hand gets cold.
I don't know that. I don't know that. I think I just was making the gorillas sound from that. But yeah, Michael Jackson, you think he's a hippie?
I don't think Michael. Well,
I mean, hippies like kids.
Not that much. Allegedly. I don't know.
Yeah,
he doesn't seem very hippie to me.
The hippies were never convicted, but.
Yeah. I mean, he was the king of pop. And it's very rare that pop music seems. I wonder if he smoked pot.
I think he smoked pot. I know his doctor gave him good drugs.
Yeah, that was the final draw. Like, I'll say this. If you were a Michael Jackson fan, I can't imagine. It would be rare that I would have seen you at Woodstock.
But, the Jackson 5, I consider them, they were wearing bell-bottoms. And
they were. That gets hard because that was also we talked about this too with like blue jeans and stuff. That was just what you bought at catalogs at that time. Because there were a lot of like, God, what were those? Polyester suits were a big thing too.
I hate the Jackson 5. Like something about Baby Michael's
ABC, talk about 1, 2, 3.
It like Baby Michael just like freaks me out. I don't know what it is. I don't know.
Before he was like hee hee.
No, I love that stuff.
You like hee hee.
I love all adult Michael stuff, but yeah, Baby Michael. Ugh.
Where's this?
I'm Baby Michael Jackson, ABC.
That's a tough one, man. I think what you would have to do, I don't think Michael Jackson really is hippie, but if you were a big fan of the Jackson 5, maybe you're kind of close. I don't know if it's enough to get a point.
Yeah, if you're like, I hate Thriller, but I love the Jackson 5. So,
yeah.
All right. So
he was a better singer when his dad was beating him.
Who do you think is number 4?
Fuck. God, I don't know.
There's a thing called a crocodile rock. Rocking round the clock, send na 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 na. The bitch is back. She can bitch, cause she's better than you. Stone cold shoulder. When are you gonna come down?
Crocodile Rock is in my head.
Like a candle in the wind.
Oh, God, that guy. There we go. There it was. Yeah. Tiny Dancer.
Yeah. Dancer for money.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
a different one.
I'm a tiny dancer.
Elton John, huh?
Yeah, Elton John. Elton John, hippie for sure, dude.
Dude, that gets, I mean, he was a big proprietor of just pushing, like, the rights of the gay movement. He wore a lot of rhinestones. And, I mean, Tiny Dancer was a huge song.
Yeah.
In the 70s.
Well, and
60s.
I feel like psychedelic imagery and some of his music.
I'm a rocket man.
Yeah, like Rocket Man, Yellow Brick Road.
Brick Road, yeah. I always felt like Rocket Man, I was looking for, like, is he trying to tell the world something when he's like, I'm not what I am, what you think I am at home. I'm a rocket man. Like, what is that rocket?
All right, so number 5.
Beyond Elton. I'm going to shoot. Is it Journey?
It's Chumbawamba.
Dude, no way. Tub thumping?
No, I'm totally...
I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never going to keep me down.
I'm kidding. It's, We Are the Champions.
Queen! Oh, dude, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Queen's a wild one. I mean, they were arena rock, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, Bohemian Rhapsody also.
I mean, it's a rock opera, so I don't know. Opera doesn't feel very hippie.
It doesn't. And it's tough. I mean, I've always questioned.
Freddie Mercury had a big drug phase, though, didn't he? I mean, you had to be the best back then, right?
I don't know. Born in 1946 in Zanzibar.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of psychedelic art of them.
I feel like it would be tough to say Freddie Mercury never did cocaine. Okay, it's a rock and roll legend, but there were never dwarves walking around parties with bowls of cocaine on their head. Okay, it says the police in Kingston knew Freddie. So it sounds like Freddie Mercury did cocaine.
So I came across this thing that's just bicycle race decoded. Queen's bicycle race is about tripping out on LSD. Of course, bicycle refers to LSD as per the blotter art of Alfred Hoffman riding his bike and tripping out accidentally. Race characterizes an LSD session. It's like a mind race. All I want to do is bicycle equals ELSD. Bicycle races are coming your way, so forget all your duties. Oh yeah, fat bottom girls. Fat bottom girls. D at the end of bottom. LS at the end of girls.
What?
Combines the LSD. We'll be riding today, so look out for those beauties. Oh yeah. Now we come to fat bottom. D and LS are capitalized and bottomed in girls for LSD. So LSD makes the rockin' world go round. A big woman equals fat bottom girls equals LSD. A heap of LSD makes a big man out of him. Big man, altered perception of proportion. Better man, immortal. This is...
Is this a viable source?
This is another way of saying this song is actually not about beautiful girls, but rather about fat bottom girls, i.e. LSD. I was just on LSD, tripped out hard. I was just a skinny lad. Skinny, capitalize the S, capitalize the L in lad, and the D in lad. I was just on LSD, tripped out hard is what that means. Queen is all about eating LSD and experiencing ego death. Every Queen song is about that. And you thought you know what they were talking about?
Dude, I'm going to be honest. This sounds like a guy who wrote too many letters, got arrested, and now he's obsessed with Freddie Mercury.
I mean, I think after reading that, I'm just going to say half a point.
Man, I thought I liked fat bottom girls, but I guess I just like LSD now.
Like, why would a gay man say that
he likes fat bottom girls?
Yeah, that they make the rockin' world go round. I mean, I think this guy's onto something.
Oh, God. He just worked his way into our brain.
Who do you think's up next?
So, past Queen... Dude, I don't know. James Taylor?
Hey, Macarena.
Really?
No.
Oh, thank God.
I lied again.
I'm starting to see a pattern here.
No, the next one is Like a Virgin.
Oh, Madonna. Her
Touch
the very first time.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah. Papa, don't preach.
I remember, seeing that video for Like a Prayer as a kid, and I was like, man, this is a bad
video.
This is a bad girl.
Yeah, bad. I remember, God, she eventually had that. God, I can't remember the video now, but it was the one that got her in all the trouble.
I think it was Like a Prayer because she was like in a church and she was, there was a lot of like religious imagery and sexual imagery kind of combined.
But there was one in the 80s or early 90s. Madonna.
Do you think Madonna's a hippie though?
Oh, dude, no, she's a material girl.
Yeah, exactly. -1 for Madonna.
Let's go, Madonna. I just put Madonna sex video to try to be like the...
Well, yeah, she had a bunch of
Justify. Was it Justify? Justify your love or something. Was that Janet Jackson? Yes, I think it was. Yeah, it was this one. Where it's like black and white and like MTV, they were trying to figure out if they could play it because they were like dripping wax all over and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I was just a young boy going, man, I'm throttled.
You're like, man, I need to get some candles.
Yeah. Like a candle in the wind.
Like a candle on Madonna.
Yeah. Ooh, sizzling.
Well, all right, number 7.
Number
What do you think it is?
7. New Kids on the Block.
No.
Oh, goddamn it. Ozzy? Oh, dude, Zeppelin? Yeah. Stairway to Heaven.
That's not Stairway to, is it?
No, it's not, but I'm just, yeah. And I don't even know if that's it. That's... That sounds like an orgasm.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems pretty. It's definitely rock and roll, but I feel like people that maybe identify as hippies, they kind of lean into, like, they would have listened to Zeppelin.
I'm gonna say Zeppelin's hippie.
Yeah,
for sure. So
they had that weird angel baby as a logo.
They were, I think, a lot of the hippies that
Stairway to Heaven.
That like once hippiedom went more into the 70s, I feel like Zeppelin was probably a big mainstay.
Yeah, for sure. They also, that House of the Holy, that album cover in itself is wild.
Yeah, I mean, they were also kind of like hard metal, but I don't know. I think.
But Robert Plant was also like this odd sex symbol. Apparently, he had a great big dick. I don't know.
Robert Plant did?
Yeah. Like if you look at the videos, you'd always wear tight pants. I think the Hog was out there. Ladies were really into it.
Hey, Rob, let me see your dong, buddy.
Hey, Bob Plant.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, Bobo.
Hey, Bobby Plant.
My wife wants to know if you could plant her.
Oh, boy, I think that's a sign that it's time to go.
Time to go. But, the energy felt good. I think we could maybe even continue to dive into music a little bit, but this is fun.
Well, yeah, thank you so much. Follow, subscribe, rate, review. Get on the motherfucking
Get on the bus.